Happy Tuesday, football fans. You have found the Behind the Lines podcast for week number 6. My name is Stephen Andress, joined each and every week on this show by Christian Cipollini, sports trader at BetMGM. A day later than usual this week. Thank you for your patience. Had an office holiday and some tech issues here on the home front, but happy to get this back out to you. In this episode, we will look back at the week that was week 5 in the National Football League in terms of betting, the biggest public wins, the biggest public losses. We will also look ahead to the early week lines at BetMGM for week number 6. Couple of huge games on this slate with the Chiefs and the Bills and the Eagles and the Cowboys. So we'll run through those numbers as betting starts to pour in here on week number 6. And I'll also share a couple of the early week bets I have made over at BetMGM. But Christian, how are you, my friend? Great to have you back.
Yeah, it's good. Unfortunately, probably not as good for the public as it was one of the better weeks we've had this season. Actually, definitely the best week we've had this season was this week.
So that is now 4 of 5 weeks by my count that has been a winning week for the book, and capped off by the best week yet for the book in week number 5. What were some of the biggest public losses? Let's start with there, since this was such a big week for the book.
Yeah, our biggest win of the week was Bengals Ravens. That was our biggest one. Last night would have been a lot better if the Chiefs didn't finish that comeback off. The pregame side was good for us, but in-game, everyone took the Chiefs when they were down 17 points. So our in-game kind of washed out the winnings of the pregame side there.
I don't know the exact number, but I think I saw somewhere around like 2-1 on the live money line when they got down 17-0. Does that sound about accurate to you?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. But now they've done this so many times that every time they go down, people just start firing back away on the Chiefs money line. So
yeah, I hear you. And that's probably why you're not getting as juicy of a number as you would if somebody else were to go down 17-0 at that point, right?
Yeah, they just keep doing it. Yeah.
For sure. So how about the flip side here? How about some of the biggest public wins? If you can find a couple here or there after a rough week for the public.
Yeah, there wasn't too many, and the ones that were either kind of a wash for us or just a small loser. But the couple that I have highlighted were Seahawks Saints. That one was just a small loser for us, and Browns Chargers was about a wash. But other than that, those were the only 2 bad ones for us on the schedule. Giants beating the Packers was a great outcome for us. The Eagles not covering versus the Cardinals was a good outcome. And even the Patriots just crushing the Lions. We had a lot of money on the Lions this week.
That the Seahawks Saints one sounds interesting to me because the Saints covered and they were the favorite, but high scoring game. So I'm assuming we're talking like big picture here with all the props, all the touchdown scores. The public likes to bet the overs on that. So I'm assuming that's kind of how that wound up at the end for you guys.
Yeah, we were actually a little bit more like normally we take more in the favorite, but this one, which I was a little bit surprised, we took a little bit more. We were a little bit more even on that game. So I think the Seahawks money actually is kind of coming in a little bit more than we would have thought preseason wise. Preseason wise, I would have thought that game was at 70%, 80% on the Saints.
I guess the public is attracted to offense, right? The public is attracted to offensive scoring and what they did the week before. And the Seahawks continue to put up a monster amount of points. And they've, even though it was in a losing effort, they at least continued to show that they can move the ball, ironically, a lot better than Russell Wilson. Geno Smith has been fantastic at this point. So just want to take a pause here for a moment to remind everybody, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know in the comments what odds stand out to you for week 6 in the National Football League. Also, hit that Discord button in the top right-hand corner of TheLines.com homepage, and then go to the Rolls server, and you'll be able to see a couple of buttons you can press to get alerts immediately when anybody on our staff makes a bet. You'll get a push notification in the Discord app to be able to lock in the best of the number when we make the bet ourselves in our own personal accounts, wagering our own personal money. But let's move forward here, Christian, to Monday. Well, we already played Monday Night Football. We're a day late. We usually do the Monday Night Football look ahead to see what's going on here in terms of the markets. But just a quick recap there. High scoring game. You would have been better off, though, if the Chiefs didn't come back and win that one, you said, right?
Yeah, we were really, really heavy on Chiefs -7. I think it was close to 89%, 90% on the Chiefs. So Raiders covering was huge there. Obviously, it knocks down a peg with Travis Kelce and Devontae Adams with multiple touchdowns. That's never good for us. And then the live money coming in on the Chiefs didn't help us either. So what normally would have been a massive winner ended up just being, just okay. It's kind of almost a wash.
Let's look ahead now to the Week 6 slate, the opening lines, the early week lines over at BetMGM, Christian. And we'll start with Thursday Night Football. If Al Michaels didn't like the offenses last week, I can't wait to hear what he's going to say throughout this game against the Chicago Bears hosting the Washington Commanders on Thursday night. This one at Soldier Field on Amazon Prime, and a small spread here and an even smaller total, Christian.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the lowest total of the weekend. The Bears are 1-point favorites at home here, and the total's 38.
This is an early week bet for me. I put it in our Discord channel as well in case you guys missed it. Again, another reason to go back and join our free Discord and make sure you get our bet alerts. I'm happy with anything here with the Washington Commanders as a dog. I'm happy with anything on the money line -110 or better. I could really just summarize my analysis with the Chicago Bears are a favorite in a football game and move on, but I'll give you a little bit more than that. The Washington Commanders have a very good rush defense. They are top 5 in both rush EPA and rush success rate defense. Obviously, we know the Bears want to run the ball. Their quarterback, Justin Fields, is maxed out at only 22 pass attempts in a game this year. And then on the flip side, the Bears' defense against the pass. Now, the knock on the Commanders' defense is that they can't really defend the pass, but the Bears' numbers against the pass are even worse. And the Commanders actually have weapons to take advantage of it. Whereas on the flip side, the Washington Commanders against the Bears offense doesn't really pose that much of a threat to me. I'm not worried about Justin Fields to Darnell Mooney. And I think that Commanders pass defense has been skewed a little bit. They've been bad, but they've also played a lot of really good receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Christian Kirk earlier in the season. They played a lot of good receivers that they've gotten gashed by. I'm not sure this Bears offense is capable of taking advantage of that. So, but yeah, again, long story short, the Bears are favored in a game, which probably won't happen for the rest of the season. So I want to take a shot on the dog here on Thursday Night Football. Let's move ahead here to the 1:00 Eastern time slate in Week 6, Christian, and the opening odds over at BetMGM.
Yes, we have Bucks at the Saints. Bucks are our biggest road favorite of the week. 8.5-point favorites with a total 43.5. We have Bengals at Saints. Bengals are 1.5-point road favorites. That total is 43.5. Jaguars at Colts. Colts are 2-point favorites with the total at 42. Patriots at Browns. Browns are 3-point favorites at home with that total 42.5. Jets at Packers. Packers are 7-point favorites, total 46. Ravens at the Giants. Ravens are 5-point road favorites with the total being 44. We have the Vikings at the Dolphins. Vikings are 3-point road favorites as well with that total 45.5. 49ers at the Falcons, another road favorite, 5.5-point favorites for the Niners, and that totals 43.5, and that's the last of the 1:00s.
Quick question here with the Vikings and the Dolphins, and this one hovering around that key number of 3. The Dolphins had Teddy Bridgewater knocked out. The reports were that he cleared the concussion protocol. We're not sure if Tua is going to play or not. That's another curveball into this situation. So as we record on Tuesday, we don't know who the quarterback is. When you're in a situation like this, when you're the sports book, my observation has been it seems like the opening lines kind of straddle in the middle between the two outcomes of who's going to play quarterback. Is that an accurate description of what we're seeing here with the Vikings and the Dolphins?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's probably pretty close. If Tua ended up playing, I'm sure it would go 2-3 points back in the other way. There's a pretty big difference, obviously, between Skylar Thompson and Tua playing quarterback, and even with Teddy too. So yeah, these ones are a nightmare for the book because we just don't know what to make of it. I mean, the same way same for the public too. You don't know what to make of it, don't know what's going to happen, but we're sitting in the same spot. So for us, it's trying to just assess risk and trying to put it in a good spot.
For sure. And when it comes to limits, right, with your sharp bettors, earlier in the week you have lower limits, and then as you get closer to
Correct.
kickoff, your limits go up. Do you wait a little while to raise those limits on a game like this when you have uncertainty at the quarterback position, or do you still follow the same protocols and schedule as you do the rest of the games?
Correct. Yeah. Until we get more clarity on who's going to start at quarterback, we wouldn't be taking any decent size action on that. Not until we have more clarity on what's going to happen. Just because it's so volatile, that'll move in way different directions depending on who's going to end up playing.
Yeah, fair enough. Great insight there. We appreciate that. The afternoon slate here on Sunday, the 4:00 Eastern time window for week number 6.
Yeah, Panthers at Rams. Our biggest favorite of the week is the Rams 11-point favorites here at home, with that total being 40.5. Then we have Cardinals at Seahawks. Cardinals are 3-point favorites on the road there. That total 51.5. And the big one for the 4:00 window, Bills at Chiefs rematch. Bills are 2-point favorites here on the road. That total being our biggest of the week at 53.5.
Seeing at least a little bit of action on that big headline game between the Bills and the Chiefs here. As I pull up my live window here, you gave us the opening odds, but it looks like we're up to 2.5 here for the Bills on the road at Kansas City. I have to assume, based on that number, that we are pretty close to evenly rated between these two teams now. I don't know. I take that back, because home field advantage, 3 points for the Chiefs, so that this line's really, really looking at like more than 4 points here on a neutral for the Bills. Is that how you're seeing this too?
Yeah, I was a little bit kind of stunned to see that as well. The Chiefs Chiefs came back. They still have looked like Bills and Chiefs have been the best two teams all year. So, but yeah, we're at Bills 2.5 on the road here. So yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting spot. I believe this would be the first time Patrick Mahomes is an underdog at home in his career. It's happened a couple of times when he was on the road. I got to double check that, but I'm almost positive I've seen that a couple times where this will be the first time he's a home underdog. Obviously, the only team in the league capable of making that happen is the Buffalo Bills. So an interesting spot here, Christian.
Yeah, definitely not common for him to be a road underdog. And at that total at 50.5, I'm sure we will be taking a lot of overbets, no matter what that number ends up being.
Yeah, I believe it. And if the Chiefs take a ton of money as big favorites, I'm curious to see how much money they take against the Bills as a dog, because with the New York legal market open now, you've been getting a lot of Bills action too. So, obviously I'm not going to hold you to this, but like, if you had to guess, how do you think this is going to be a pretty even split between both sides, or kind of put your crystal ball on here?
Yeah, I'd have to say it's even. Just we take Bills money kind of no matter what, but getting the Chiefs at plus money is, I'm sure the public's going to be okay with doing that. You can definitely convince yourself into, saying I got the Chiefs plus money. Yeah, of course I'm going to take that. So
if this somehow gets to 3, Christian, I'm not sure it will. But if this somehow ever gets to 3, even Chiefs plus 3 minus 115, that will be a bet for me this week, just based on principle that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes really should never be a 3-point dog at home against. I don't care if they're playing the Monstars. I would take the Chiefs plus 3 at home. And I don't really care much what Buffalo did against the Pittsburgh Steelers last week against a rookie quarterback and a really brutally bad secondary. So if the market wants to crown the Bills for that Pittsburgh Steelers performance and give me the key number of 3 against the Chiefs at home, I will be betting that. We'll have to wait and see if we get to that number here as the week goes on. The prime time window here, Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, a couple of key divisional battles here, one in the NFC, one in the AFC.
Yeah, Cowboys at the Eagles. Eagles are 4.5-point favorites there, and that totals 42. And then for Monday night, Broncos again. Broncos at the Chargers. Chargers are 5.5-point favorites, so that totals 45.
This is another one of my early week bets here. I did take the Dallas Cowboys at plus 5. I'd be fine taking them at plus 4.5 here. I'm not saying I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, but I just have this opinion that when it comes to elite defenses and elite pass rushes, it seems the market is slow to react to that compared to an elite offense. And I do believe that this Dallas Cowboys pass rush is the very best in the National Football League. They showcased it again against the LA Rams, albeit against a beat-up offensive line. But they are wrecking games to make it so that the offense can be conservative, take the points that come to them, and come out with double-digit wins in these games. They're not high scoring, they're not pretty, but this defense has been incredible. And if the Eagles' offensive line was 100%, I'd be a little more hesitant to make this bet. But we don't know the status of this offensive line and how close to 100% all of the pieces will be. On top of that, the one Achilles heel that Jalen Hurts has shown is his ability to operate when pressured. The Arizona Cardinals went all out and blitzed him again, and he struggled at times against that blitz. If the Cowboys can do that, and they have the weapons on defense to do it, then I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be a close game. And I think more than 4 is too much here. So I will be backing the Dallas Cowboys. So, Christian, it's going to be an awesome week of football. A lot of really great games on the slate. As always, we appreciate you joining us and providing your insight.
For sure. Can't wait.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for Christian Cipollini. My name is Stephen Andress. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the Beat the Closing Line podcast on Tuesdays, Megapod back on Fridays. We'll also have the Survivor Pod out here on the channel as well. If you're listening to us on audio, just go to youtube.com/TheLines US. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.